Well, hello everyone. I hope everyone is having a good day today. Today is Sunday, and we are in the 23rd day of March. Such an exciting time to be on YouTube. I hope everyone is doing well today. Hope you had a good Sunday, and I hope that your week is good as well. I see that we have already had one guest show up, and it is my favorite, Marty Baker. Welcome to the live stream, Marty Baker. Good to see you. Hope everything is going well for you today. I'm trying to get my light to light up on me. Well, I have had a little bit of a break from doing my live streams, and actually I did not put out a video this week either, so I also had a break on from YouTube putting out videos this week. So I hope that you all haven't missed me too much. So I'm going to try to catch you up a little bit on what's been happening. I've been really busy. I just got back from my trip down to Florida. Went down to Kissimmee and visited with my aunt there in Kissimmee, Florida. And she is doing very well. Her name is Rebecca. So if Rebecca, if you're on tonight and you're listening, big shout out. Thank you for having me over at your house. So I'm trying to pull my live stream up to just kind of get an idea of how it's looking. It looks clear on this side, but you never can tell. Last time I was on here, it was bad internet signal. And so I wasn't getting a real clear signal, and apparently my live stream wasn't that great of a picture. It was kind of fuzzy from what I understand. When I went back and looked at it later, I saw that it was pretty fuzzy. So, Spicy D, hey, welcome. Do I know you, Spicy D? If I don't, introduce yourself to everybody. Hello, everyone, and hello, host. Good to see you on here, Spicy D. I don't believe I have ever seen you before, but would like to get to know you and know a little bit about you. I am new here. Okay. So what brings you to my channel, Spicy D? Good to have you on here anyway. Well, I am going to be talking tonight a little bit about eBay. I'm going to be talking about my trip to Florida. And then I'm also going to kind of give you some updates of what I plan on doing in the near future. Marty Baker. And you just subscribed to my channel last week. Great. Thank you. I'm glad to have you on board. Good to see you on here. Give me just a second. If it seems like I'm not real together tonight, it's because I'm not. I am having a little bit of trouble getting everything together tonight. I usually get on a little bit earlier, and I'm able to seem like I'm organized. But tonight I'm not seeming too organized, am I? So Spicy D says one like host. Okay, what does that mean? Anyway, glad to have you subscribe to my channel. I do have another subscriber who is also someone I subscribe to. Her name is Box Van D, and we just recently met up in the desert about, I guess it was about 2 months ago now, because it was January when I went out there to Arizona. Um, liked you live button. Okay. So what's been going on recently? Well, I went to Florida last week. I went down there on, let's see, what day did I head down there? I went down there on, actually, the week before last. I left on Wednesday. And then I came back on this Wednesday. And I was in Kissimmee, Florida, visiting with my aunt. Her name is Rebecca. And she is a very sweet person who I like to spend time with. And so I had a really good time. I was able to okay. How about now? So my microphone was muted. So what I was saying is that I went 2 weeks ago to Florida and spent some time with my aunt Rebecca, and she lives there in Kissimmee. Thank you very much. She says it's okay now. Very good. Thank you. Thanks for letting me know that it was not that I wasn't getting through. How's my picture, by the way? Is it clear tonight? Because last time I was on here, it was real fuzzy. I was not getting a really good internet signal, and it was really bad. So I hope that I am getting a clear picture tonight. But I was going to tell you a little bit about my channel. I am 57 years old. I just turned 57 um, in February. So uh, I'm relatively young for someone who is retired. Thank you, Spicy D. I appreciate that. So I'm relatively young for someone who is retired. Most people retire around the age of 64 to 65, maybe even later. Some people even, retire into their 70s. But I decided that, life is too short, and we need to kind of enjoy our life a little bit. If as hard as I worked when my kids were little, I've got 4 children, and they are all adults now. So I managed to get them all raised, and they're all adults. So I have 4 children, and they are all grown now. But I worked real hard. And, well, Marty has got a birthday coming up. Happy birthday, Marty. How old are you going to be? So, because I worked real hard, I decided that I needed to start preparing early to retire. And so that's what I did. I retired at the age of 55. I retired in January when I was 55, and I turned 56 in February, the following month. So I guess you could say I retired at 55, but I actually retired around the age of 56. So, that's pretty early for a lot of people. Not many people are fortunate enough to be able to retire at the age of 55 or 56. So I feel, very fortunate, and I'm very pleased that I was able to do that. And Marty is 28, going to be 28 years old. Well, wish you a very early happy birthday. Hope you have a wonderful birthday. Hope you get everything that you wanted. Anyway, my channel is called Retire Inspired. Retire Inspired. And so the whole idea behind my channel currently, it originally started out with side hustles, talking about side hustles. It was called Side Hustle Sam was my channel name. And I decided to change my title or my channel name last year, or maybe right before I retired. And the reason I did that was because I wanted my channel to be about more than just side hustles. Now, I still do my side hustles as a retiree, and I really enjoy doing that. And so some of the things that I'm still doing that I like to do are, I sell on eBay, which I'll be talking about tonight, some of my sales, and I'll also be talking about how my eBay store did when I was on hiatus, when I was in Florida last week. So one of the wonderful things about eBay is that you can leave, go on vacation, and still sell stuff while you're not there. So basically, you're selling items in your sleep, which I really love to be able to sell stuff on eBay. Gumball Gold, welcome, Jim. Good to see you on the live stream tonight. Hope you're doing well. Haven't heard from you in a while. I did watch your last video, and I saw where you got a new location with your gumball machines. Sounds like your gumball business is really doing great, and I'm glad to see that. And by the way, if you guys want to check out Gumball Gold's channel, he has a channel. I think he has close to 1,500 subscribers. He is eligible for monetization, I believe, but I'm not sure if he's monetized yet or not. But Jim is a great guy. I got to go spend a little bit of time with him when I was on my way out to Arizona back in January, so we got to hang out. He took me for a ride in his Corvette, so I did a video about that. Y'all go back and check it out. It's on my videos, about maybe 3 or 4 videos back, maybe 5 videos back, but Jim is on there. So getting back to my channel and why I decided to change the name to Retire Inspired is because I wanted to be able to include more information from my traveling. And that's what a lot of my recent information has been about, has been traveling and my van, and getting my van prepared for traveling, getting my bed set up and my refrigerator in there. And then I was able to, on this last trip, I was able to take some solar along with me. So now I have solar in my van, and I really, it was a real big upgrade because it allowed me to have more power inside my van, which is great. And Gumball Gold says he doesn't have enough hours yet for the monetization. So y'all go into his channel and just turn on the feed and go to his videos and just start watching them. Help him rack up those hours so he can get his monetization. And he says his Corvette is out of the body shop. A lady scratched the paint parking next to it, and it's got all new paint. So that's great. You got all new paint. I know you treat that Corvette like it's a baby, and I don't blame you because it's a nice ride. I really like it. Well, while I was gone to Florida, like I said, I kept my eBay store open during that time. And I'm going to share a little bit with you guys tonight about how the store did while I was gone. So let's go ahead and get into that. I'm going to share my screen with you. If it'll let me. Okay. Well, they have changed something on here. Okay, they've changed something on here to make, and it's a little bit harder now to pull up my screen sharing. Okay, here we go. I had that pulled up, and for some reason it lost it completely. So I'm getting into my seller hub. And so it looks like my sales have gone down a little bit during the week while I was gone, but not terribly bad. This is my chart for the last 31 days. So my total sales for the last 31 days, that's from February 21st to March 23rd, is $4,558.68. I had a total selling cost of $1,316.11, and my net sales, my total amount of sales, was $2,960.92. So I sold 54 items. Average sales per item was $84.42. Now, one of the things that I did while I was on vacation is I continued to list every day. I ended and sold similar, but I also listed items that I had that were available to me to list. And some of those items that I bought when I was out there have already sold. And so, so it was good that I went ahead and listed them while I was out there. Like I bought some model cars. You know, we stopped at a yard sale on the way out to the flea market, and I bought some model cars. there were about 4 of them, and they were brand new in the package. She sold them for me for $5 each. And so one of them sold once I got back because I had it listed before I even returned home. I went out to my aunt's driveway and just took some pictures in the sunlight. And so it worked out pretty good that those got sold pretty quickly. So my top category is video games and consoles. So $1,993.52 in video games and consoles. I sold a computer, tablet, $309.37. I sold a piece of musical instrument, electronic drums, for $183.90. Cameras and photos. Now, cameras and photos are one thing that I've just recently kind of got real knowledgeable about, and I am doing really well with cameras and digital cameras specifically. I sold $160 worth of cameras. And sporting goods, that would be baseball bat, gloves, and mitts. I sell gloves on a regular basis. They're like a staple. They sell pretty regular, and baseball bats, especially during baseball season. So it's pretty good that those items sold, and my sales look like they're still doing pretty good, even though I was out for a while. Now I will change it here. Let me go back to last month and generate a report. So last month, I was gone. This would have been let's go to January. Let me make it January 1st to January 31st, because I was gone. I had my store on vacation mode. Now, let's not do January. Let's do February while I was out. So I left here on February 25th, and I returned on February. No, that's not right. I left here on March the 11th. There we go. And I returned on March 18th. I'm just, the reason I'm showing you this is just to kind of show you that even though I was gone, I was still able to generate money during that time. So, I mean, it wasn't an incredible amount of money. Usually in a week's time, I do $1,000 in sales, or about $1,200 or $1,400 in sales. This particular week, while I was on vacation, I did $990 in sales, 991 exactly. And so I had selling costs of $245.70. So my net sales, that's actually the money that I got after taxes and fees was taken out, and shipping, was $694.21 with an average sales price of $90.17. So overall, pretty good performance wise, even though I was on vacation. I had my store set to away, and if you're not familiar with it, the away is when you're away from your store, you can set it to away and you don't have to ship out while you're gone. It's like you're on vacation. You can set it to vacation mode. Now here's a couple of the cameras that I picked up when I was out there. These digital cameras, I listed these 3 this evening. I bought this Nikon Coolpix for $30 at an estate sale, and the comps on it were around $145. So I listed for $145. These other two cameras came from thrift stores and flea market. This Canon ELPH is what it's called. It's a point and shoot film camera, and it came with the box and manual, and I paid $10 for it, and it'll sell for $35. And then lastly was this Kodak Easy Share. Always like to get the digital and film cameras because they sell pretty good. But just going to show you some of the sales that I've had recently as well. On today, I sold a couple of items. Sold this Dale Jarrett racing car. Now, I didn't make a video about it, but I met up with my friend George's son. If for y'all who have been watching me for a while, I had a friend named George, and he had a gold and silver store here in Montgomery. And last year he was out at somebody's grocery store. It was a Mexican grocery store, and the grocery store was robbed while he was there. And the people that robbed the store shot the store owner and the store owner's son and killed them. And also George was there and happened to be one of the people who was killed in that robbery. Anyway, his son contacted me, and his son said, listen, my dad had a bunch of stuff in the store that when we closed it, we just put it in the storage. And he invited me to come to the storage building for a private pick and just to go through the items that I wanted and, see what I wanted first of all, and then pick up those things. So there was a lot of these types of cars. Now, this is one that I already had in my inventory. The buyer sent me an offer for $20, and usually when you're within $1 or $2 of what I'm asking, I'll usually accept the offer. And so I accepted his offer for $20. I had it listed for $22. And so that sold. I also sold a Bose Wave radio, AM/FM alarm clock. This radio is something I picked up at a yard sale. And it's just a Bose radio. If you see Bose radios, they're always a good buy for resale. So I paid $5 for this at a yard sale, and it sold for $80.99. It came with a remote, and I tested it to make sure it worked before I listed it. So these are items that I'll be sending out tomorrow. I also sold this Cabbage Patch Kids doll. It's a little dress. Actually, it's a nightgown. I sold that for $8.09. And I sold this pair of shoulder pads. These shoulder pads have been sitting in my inventory for quite a while. And so they finally sold for, I think I took an offer of $28 on this. I've got about $5 into these. I picked them up at a yard sale. So not a big sale, but it's a sale. And as always, I sold an alarm clock. I always sell these alarm clocks. They are wonderful for selling. And William Smith is on the line. Welcome, William. Good to see you on here. Hope you're doing well tonight. You tried to call me just a minute ago, and while I was doing my live stream, I thought you would have realized I was on my live stream since Marty is in there in the same house with you. But good to have you on here. Hope you're doing well. 200 plus what? I don't know what you're saying there. You're going to have to clarify. And just to let you know, backpacks do pretty good. I'll never pay more than $5 for a backpack, whether it's at a yard sale or at a thrift store. Usually I pay anywhere between $2 to $5 for backpacks. This one was Eastman Outdoor Company backpack, and it was a 2-compartment. It sold for $26.10. They sell pretty good. This is one of my CDs that I sold. Those CDs have been selling slowly but surely. Bought the whole box for $2.50, and then I went around, had them sit around the business here for about 2 years, and then finally decided to go ahead and buy some new jewel cases and put them in them, and that's what I did. And they're starting to sell. So I sell 1 or 2 of those every now and then. And this Sony PlayStation 3 dual shock controller as well. And this is actually one of the items that I picked up when I was in Florida, and it was at a thrift store. So I paid $25 for this and sold it for $76.50. And this is a dual shock. Now, the person that bought this contacted me, and they said it had some type of sticky substance on the thumbsticks, on the joysticks. And they said it wasn't new, but it actually was new. It was new in this box. So I'm wondering if they're not trying to bamboozle me. Now, here's one that's really interesting. And I'm going to share this with you. This is an Xbox One Battlefield 1 Deluxe Edition box. This is the box that the Xbox One console came in. It's just a box. Now I got this box. That's what the console would have looked like. Now I picked up this box. It was a curb alert. There was several boxes on the curb, and this happened to be in one of those boxes. I didn't see it from the curb, but this is a box for a Xbox One special edition. So this box by itself sold for $40.50, and I got it for free. So it was completely free, and so it didn't cost me anything except to stop and pick it up. So that was great. And I told you that I am selling these baseball gloves, and I always pay like $2 to $5 for a baseball glove at a yard sale or at a thrift store. And this one sold for $27.90. So it's getting into baseball season. So if you folks are selling, or you're getting in, considering selling on eBay, this is a good time for listing baseball items. This is a game, a video game that I got. William says, how much? How much what? I don't know what you're saying. This is a video game that I got at one of the yard sales, and I have made so much money off of that yard sale. But this is a Nintendo GameCube video game, Dragon Ball Z Budokai 2, and it sold for $64.80. Now, I bought a bunch of items at this yard sale, including consoles, and a stack of video games. I spent maybe $100 at that yard sale, but I've already made several $1,000 off of the video games and items that I bought from that yard sale. Now this is the model, one of the models that I bought at a yard sale in Florida last week when I was with my aunt. And like I said, I just took it outside to the driveway, took some pictures of it. These pictures were taken in outside lighting. There wasn't any special lighting or anything. You can actually see the concrete. Let's see. You can actually see the concrete behind it from the driveway. So I just took the stuff out and started listing it. And that one sold for $43.20. So, that's one that I had paid $5 for at a yard sale on the way to the thrift stores out there. And you said you had that model in the 70s. Okay, cool. I got a bunch of, I got five models in the box that had the wrapping in the packages sealed at that one yard sale. Paid $5 a piece for them. I should make anywhere between $600 and $700 out of them. I always sell, I'm getting in and sell and relist my video game consoles every so often because people will get on there and they'll watch them. They'll watch the consoles and then they won't buy them. They'll just sit there and watch them forever. So what I do is I just end them, relist them, and sometimes they sell, like this one did. This was a Nintendo 64 console bundle. Now, if you go out to a flea market or a thrift store, then and you see Nintendo 64 like this, they're going for about $100. And so, $73 is a very reasonable price to pay for one of these. So you painted it exactly like the picture. Okay. What's your highest priced item? What's the highest priced item that I sold or the highest priced item that I have listed in my store? You got to be more specific with your questions. Also sold another video game console while I was gone, and this is a Sega Genesis Model 1, and it came with 2 games. Again, I have a very reasonable, I price my bundles very reasonably. This Sega Genesis Model 1, is one of the older consoles, and, I buy them for parts of repair, and then I put in, I order power and AV cables for it. And also, if I have to find or source a controller, I'll do that in order to build my bundle up so that I can have a complete bundle on those video game consoles. So I will continue to sell video game consoles. They continue to do well. And so I'm never disappointed. I sold a cookbook, a candlelight and wisteria recipes. I think this cookbook was given to me free. I don't think I paid anything for it. On somebody that was just getting rid of stuff that they had left over at a yard sale that they didn't sell. So I sell cookbooks every now and then. Cookbooks are not a bad deal. If you can find some decent cookbooks, people always seem to be looking for cookbooks. They don't sell for a lot of money, but they sell pretty good. And this one sold for $13.50. I don't think I had anything into it. This New Bright Mastercraft boat here, I picked this up at a yard sale for $5. And I've had these Mastercraft New Bright boats before, but I never had one this complete. Now this one had its remote control, had the boat. It's a speedboat, and it was complete. It wasn't new in the package, but it was complete. And I was able to also test it and put a video up showing that it worked. So I'm going to show you this video And again, if you're not using videos in your system, I highly encourage you to use them because they're very effective. See, I was able to demonstrate in that video that the boat worked, that the rudder on the boat worked. And so I think that really helped in getting it sold. This smoke alarm. I always run across smoke alarms at yard sales and flea markets and thrift stores. And these usually I buy them for about $2 or $3, $1 or $2 sometimes. And this one sold for $26.99. And if I pull it up here, I think that the original price is on the front of it. Yep, $25.99 at Buck's Bargain Center is what it originally sold for, and I actually sold it for $1 more than what it originally sold for. So that's pretty good. And I had this truck here. I picked this truck up at a yard sale for a couple of dollars. And I think what made me pick this truck up is that it was in really good condition. It was, looked like it had barely been played with. And it also, I didn't know at the time that I bought it that it actually worked. But when I got it back, I was able to test it out. And this is a video. See, again, videos are great for showing items that are working. You see how I tested it in the video to show that the sirens and the lights are working, and also that the hook was working. Now we have another guest here that we haven't seen in a little while. Hope you're doing well, Invisible River. Did you change your name? I thought it was Invisible River Ranch. Did you change your channel name? Just curious. I think you did. So welcome, Invisible River. I kind of like Invisible River better than Invisible River Ranch because it just kind of goes together really well. So good to have you on here. Hope you're doing well. I also sold this PlayStation 3 Slim console. It was 120 gigabytes, and I put 3 games with it. Got a wrestling game, Rainbow Six, like a war fighting game, and a football game. So it sold for $127.80. This is one of the consoles that I got off of eBay that I had bought for parts or repairs, and then I had to download some stuff. It got really complicated in order to get this thing working again, but I was able to get it working again, and sold it for $127. I think I got about $30 into that, and then maybe another $20 for the cords and that sort of thing. Now this one, I have a really special story to tell you about this one. So Invisible River, you said that hanging in there is my other channel. Okay, so you still have the Invisible River Ranch channel, and this is another channel. Is that what you're saying? So let me tell you the story about this computer. This thing has been sitting in the house that I bought. I've shown that house on several videos. I bought it from our neighbor across the street, and the house was just in terrible shape. And I'm still working on trying to get the house fixed up and going again. But this was in the house, and I'm not real familiar with Apple computers or iMacs. But even in the early years, apparently iMac has incorporated the computer into the television set. It's like all one piece. I've been looking at this thing sitting in that house for almost over 2 years actually, thinking it was just a monitor. But then I pulled it out and just started really taking a closer look at it, and it turns out that it's a complete computer system. It's one of the early Apple computer systems. I didn't pay anything for this. It was in the house when I bought the house. Here's a demo. And so, I just put a video up showing that the computer actually works, because this is a vintage camera. I mean, a vintage computer, and it sold very quickly. Also listed this one on Facebook Marketplace since it's so heavy. When I got this boxed up and shipped out, it was actually close to 60 pounds, which is really heavy. It's a CRT, TV with a computer built inside of the whole box. So it's a computer with a TV. It's all together. So I sent that out, and hopefully the buyer will be happy with their purchase. That was a booger. It was hard to ship that. I can tell you that. It wasn't an easy ship. And then I sold a 3DS travel case, and I sold a Canon PowerShot digital camera. Like I said before, these digital cameras, I pick them up at yard sales for $5 and $10 a piece, and they turn out to be good purchases. This Canon PowerShot, I paid about $5 for it in the yard sale. No, I take that back. I bought this at a thrift store. I bought this at one of the thrift stores in our area for $25. I did pay a little bit more for it, but to be able to flip it in a relatively quick period of time was good. Over $125. And again, I did a video to show that it actually does work. People like to see those videos. They really do help sell. So it sold for $139.50. Invisible Rippers, yeah, he says all in one about the Apple computer, and people collect them. Yeah, I guess they do. And I didn't pay for it. It was just sitting there in the house, and I've been walking by it for 2 years now, just kind of looking at it in the corner and not really knowing what it was or anything about it. Sometimes it pays to check out stuff that so over 200, I don't remember how much that was. 247.50 from basically nowhere. I didn't pay anything for it, so so that's just the kind of stuff that you can do with eBay. It's real exciting to be able to do that. And Invisible River says you get to play with all the stuff. Yeah, I do. Let me show you real quick one of the things that I picked up from my friend George's son, I should say, because George was murdered. But let me get back to the main camera. All right, so this is the thing that I picked up, and this is a Sony Watchman. If you are familiar with the Walkman, the Sony Walkman, those are really popular, and people want to get those. But this one is a television that Sony came out with, and some of you might have owned one of these back in the day. But back when they had the Walkman, they had also the Watchman, and so this is a Sony Watchman, and what it is, like I said, it is a miniature television. Back when people didn't have TVs they could just walk around with, this was a big deal. Let me see if I can pull it out of its case. But this is just one of the items. I ended up spending, of all the stuff that I got from George's son, I ended up spending about $800 is what I sent him through PayPal. That's a lot of money, but I got some really cool stuff for it, for the $800. And I'm trying to pull this Watchman out of this case, but it appears to be stuck. Let's see if I can jam some scissors up in here and loosen it. Yeah, Invisible River says before everybody had a phone that they could watch TV on and YouTube and all that kind of stuff, this is what they had. And I am concerned now that because I don't think I'm going to be able to get this case off of here. But anyway, just to show you what it looks like, it's got the little TV screen, and see if the batteries are still good in it. I don't know if I'll be able to get it to turn on, but I remember when he had this in his store when he was still living, and we actually turned it on. I'm not sure how to turn it on. Oh, here's the on-off button. I hope that they took the batteries out of it. My little buddy has joined me. Anyway, I'll be checking that out later and seeing if it still works. Even if it doesn't work, somebody's going to want it. Those are collectibles. Marty says, do you have a PlayStation 4 remote control for my game system? Are you talking about a controller? Like one of these? Is that what you're talking about? Or are you talking about an actual remote control? Because I do have some PlayStation 4 remote. I mean, this is a PlayStation 4 hand controller. If that's what you're talking about, I do have some of these. When I was in Florida, I also picked up this sign right here, which I think is pretty cool. It says 25 on it right here. I was able to get him down to 20, but this is a porcelain covered sign for Morton Salt. I thought about hanging this up on the wall behind me. I probably will end up doing that because I like the sign, and I think it'd be pretty cool to have it hanging up behind me. What do you guys think? Let me pull that sticker off of there. But yeah, it's porcelain, and I paid a little bit more for it than I normally would for a sign, but it's metal on the back and porcelain. Morton Salt. When it rains, it pours. So that's one of the things I got when I was down in Florida. Yes, that's the remote controls are always asking for. Okay, well if you want one, you can. I'll put a link to my eBay store in the description, or you can go to one of my older videos, and you can find where I have some listed in my eBay store, and pick you out one. Yeah. Do you think? Are you saying this sign is antique? Is that what you're saying? Invisible River. I don't know if it is or not. It is metal. It's really heavy, and but I just liked it. I like how it's. See, it shines. Porcelain. And you got to leave Florida. Yeah, I filled up my van with stuff. Got some really good stuff while I was down there this year. Last year, when I went down there, I picked up a bunch of stuff. Not all of it was good stuff, but this year I was a little bit more picky about what kind of stuff I was going to pick up. So you said they don't make porcelain signs anymore. Okay, I didn't know that. So I guess it is an antique. But trying to see if there's anything else I can show you that I picked up while I was down there in Florida. Here's a little recorder, little Sony voice recorder, and it takes these little cassettes, these little tiny cassettes. You don't see these anymore. People love these. See, it opens up and takes these little tiny cassettes. People love to get these. This little Sony recorder has the booklet to it. It's a Panasonic. It's not a Sony. And so that kind of helps sell it also. I haven't looked this one up. I paid $5 for it. I'm thinking it will probably get about $45. That's what I'm thinking. So anyway, that's some of the eBay stuff. I still, love selling on eBay, and I will continue to sell on eBay as long as I get enjoyment out of it. I will continue to do it. My house keeps getting fuller and fuller. My eBay house, not my house where I live. This house here, where I sell eBay, is not the house where I live. This is just my eBay house. It used to be a rental house. Now it's eBay house. So what are the things that I've got coming up in the future? Just to give you a little idea about what to expect as far as content goes, and as far as what I'll be doing in the near future. Of course, I'm going to still be doing eBay, but I'm going to be putting out a series of videos of my renovations that I'm going to be doing on the house that is across the street from where I live, where I got the Apple computer. I have been needing to get that house renovated since I bought it 2 years ago. And I've done a few things. I put up sheetrock and fixed a lot of the walls. It was in really bad cosmetic shape. As far as the bones go of the house is in really good condition. But in cosmetic shape, it was in really bad shape. So I had to put up a lot of sheetrock covering the walls. And so that's one of my main projects for this year that I plan on doing, is getting that house finished and rented. Get it out there for the public to use and to make some revenue on it. Speaking of that, there are two houses that I have been working on. One of them has been over 8 months that I've been working on getting it ready to rent out as a Airbnb. I'm this close to opening it up. As a matter of fact, my brother William and his new wife spent their honeymoon in one of them. So all I got to do is a little cleaning and prep work, and I'll be getting that one listed on Airbnb as Airbnb rental. Then I have another one that I'll be focusing all my attention on getting it ready. It was previously an Airbnb, and I closed it and rented it out to a single renter. Um, but now I think I need to go back to Airbnb with that house. So that's what I'm going to do with that one. And so, I'm staying really busy, and I guess it's good to be busy in retirement, but it can also be a little straining. um, you know, it's always good to be busy, but never good to be too busy. Um, and between, if I just did eBay and didn't do anything else, I could have plenty to do to keep me busy from the time I get up to the time I go to bed. But but between the rental houses and eBay and my traveling and YouTube, I stay extremely busy, which I'm more busy now than I was when I was working. Um, but anyway, they love them permits to do all the sheetrock in Florida houses. Well, fortunately, I'm not in Florida, so they don't require permits to do sheetrock in Montgomery, Alabama, that I know of. I know they do require permits when you're going to do any kind of major electrical or plumbing, but I haven't had to do that in this house. But anyway, I have just gone over an hour, and I have enjoyed getting to see you guys on here, my regulars, William and Marty, and a new person, Spicy D. Good to have you on here. Good to see you on here this time. Hope you can come back and join us again for future live streams. I do try to do a live stream every Sunday, but I've kind of taken off the last couple of Sundays and have not been as regular as I have in the past. But I'm going to get back into the swing of things, and I'll be pretty regular now. But like I said, good to have Spicy D on here. Good to have Gumball Gold. Jim, good to see you on here again. And William, my brother, good to have you on here. And very big shout out to Invisible River. He's one of my best subscribers. Always has great. He always has great comments during my live streams, and I really appreciate you, Invisible River, for commenting on my live streams and participating. And Gumball Gold says, "Which microphone are you using now?" Still this one here. It's I don't know what happened. My camera went out. My microphone went out. Everything went out. um, I think I know what happened when I picked it up. It I either hit the button or I put it or I moved the connection to the computer and it cut it off. But anyway, yeah, this is a good microphone. I really like it. It really works very well. But again, I appreciate you all for being on the live stream tonight. Be sure and hit the like button if you haven't already hit the like button. That really helps with my algorithm. And make sure you come back and join me next time. Next week, hopefully I believe that I should be on live again next Sunday at 7:30 Central Standard Time. And you guys come back and see me and Tigger again next week. We'll be here with bells on. Hope you have a great week. And if you're retired, enjoy every minute of it. If you're not retired, but you're getting ready to be retired, then keep planning, because it is something definitely worth doing. Retirement is a great thing. That's all I can say about it. It's just a great thing. And I don't regret my decision to retire one bit. I would do it all again, exactly like I did when I did. But Tigger is making biscuits on my stomach. So he's telling me that it's time to get off of here. So I'm going to go ahead and get off of here. Hope I see you guys next week. And please forgive me for taking a little bit of a hiatus, but I was out of town and I was with my aunt in Florida. So I hope you understand. But I do plan on being here next Sunday, 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. And I hope to see you all again next week. And if you're a new watcher to my channel and you're not subscribed, please consider subscribing to my channel, liking, and sharing my videos. And also, I don't understand why it is people don't comment on my videos as much as I would like them to. I get 3 or 4 comments, sometimes 5 or 6, sometimes 8 or 9. But I would hopefully people who are watching my videos will comment more. That's what I want to see. But anyway, I've talked long enough. I'm going to get off of here. I want to tell you guys I love you and hope to see you next week. Take care. Bye-bye.